Hey guys, welcome to Shadow School Studios. Raeven Wolff, and we're gonna be doing Unyielding Violence, a deck list I made for my buddy the Mad King 254. Commander is Saskia Unyielding, and what we're gonna do is these colors are for attack triggers only. One of his favorite commanders is Ishin, so we're gonna go through it and go through why it's in the deck. There's different ways to build this deck. There's way more stuff that I could probably try and do. You don't even need the commander out. He's just using the commander for colors, but it's not bad. So what Saskia do is Vigilance Haste. When she enters the battlefield, choose a player. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to the chosen player. So you really don't care if she dies too much. Adeline equal to power is equal to the number of creatures you control. When you attack for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. And Offensa the Foremost. When she attacks, put one creature on another tapped creature you control. If a creature card be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it. You can hate on your opponents. Artisan of Kozilek, it'll get something back from your graveyard. Annihilator 2. So when you're attacking, they have to sack 2 things. Avacyn's Pilgrim is kind of a mana filtering. With the Bane of Balaged. When it attacks, the being player exiles 2 permanents they control. Bramble Familiar. Early game, it's a good mana dork, and it can get itself back. You can kind of filter through your hand a little. And then it's Adventure. Fetch Quest. Mill 7 cards and put a creature, enchantment, or land card from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. Brutal Horde Chief. Whenever a creature you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. And then you can 3 red or white creatures your opponents control block this turn if able, and you choose how those creatures block. Conduit of Storms. When it attacks, add black to your mana pool at the beginning of the next main phase this turn. So with Ishin and Wolfgar, you're going to get 3 red mana. We got big enough stuff to use it on. We have a Copper Merge, just a mana dork, cheap. Flare Loyalties, you gain control of something, and it becomes a 10/10 eldrazi essentially with Annihilator 2, and it also has Annihilator 2. Hand of Emrakul is Annihilator 1. The first ability is not what we're here for. We have Elysian Caryatid. Add 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 mana of any 1 color instead. Incubation Druid. We have, basically, we can adapt it later, but it's a mana dork for 2 mana. Arwis got a victory. He's to protect our attackers so we can get our triggers off and essentially kind of rebuild, hopefully. We have Ironmer as a mana dork. Ishin. We're going to double attacking triggers for all our stuff. It That Betrays, now there too. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent, put that card into the battlefield under your control. Llanowar Loam Speaker essentially is just a mana dork. The last ability isn't really anything unless we got enough stuff on board and you just don't want to attack with him. You want a 3/3 land to go out. Palladiumer is another mana dork. Pathrazer Ulamog is for the Annihilator 3 and to force our opponents to block it. Sakura Tribuilder is just a land fetcher. Silverwing Squadron. Power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control. When it attacks, you create a number of 2/2 knights with vigilance. Sorry, yawning. Equal to the number of opponents you have. We have a Solemn Simulacrum, Sad Robot. Sponsire of Ulamog is Annihilator 1, 7/11, but you can also make the 0/1s later if you want to try and get more mana out or more attackers. You know they have 0. We have a Sun Titan, just to get some of our mana dorks back, or anything we might need. A Thundering Raiju is to make our other stuff bigger and to deal damage to each opponent. So yeah. So that with Saskia is going to do bonkers. Ulamog's Crusher, Annihilator 2. Ulamog's Crusher attacks each combat if able. That's fine. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. 1, anti-mill. 2, let's see if we can exile. Ishin make it 40. Wolfgar makes it 60. And it's not even 60 convert mana cost. It's 60 cards. And that's just Magical Christmas Land. Ulamog Infinite Gyre, the Annihilator 4. Ultra Magnus. So what we're going to do with this one, it's a kind of a pet card in the deck. It can easily be taken out. Obviously, I'm taking it out for asceticism to give our stuff hexproof. But you're going to play it on the truck. And essentially what's going to happen is when it attacks, attacking creatures you control gain indestructible, and those creatures have total power 8 or greater, you're going to convert Ultra Magnus into the 7/7 with Ward 2. It's just a fun robot. There's not, I don't think there's any other artifact creatures in the deck, so this card's not that good in the deck really, but it can easily be taken out. We have Urberg Scavengers. It's going to graveyard hit our opponents, get bigger. Whoops. And it's going to get keywords. So there you go. It's pretty good for the attack triggers. We have a Windborn Muse to protect ourselves. Wingmate Rock is mostly life gain and to make another bird. We have Wolfgar of Icewind Dale. And essentially when we attack and it causes our stuff to trigger, whereas Ishin is any attacking creature that causes a permanent of ours to trigger. Xantid Swarm is kind of for protection, because like as soon as we go to attacks, basically our opponents can't cast spells. They can activate abilities, but they can't do anything. So let me Zero the Golden Sting is to kind of, once our stuff dies, if we can't protect it, is to get card draw to get more stuff out, and to at least have insects, so some of our other stuff in the future that we'll see shortly can go off. Our sorceries is a Cultivate for land, Kadama's Reach for land, and Rampant Growth all for land. Because it's a 4-color deck, we kind of want to get our stuff. We have a Vivian Stampede. This is kind of in-game. All our stuff is hopefully we're going to attack everybody and, yeah, give all our creatures +3/+3 if it's in a 4-player game or whatnot. Arcane Signet, Bitter Thorn is land. Arcane Signet, Mana Rock, Blade of Selves is to make multiples of a creature that they'll go away, but hopefully, you know, make big enough to hit everybody at once. Commander Sphere, Cryptolith Fragment. We're never going to get the other side, but at one point it's a mana dork that will, you know, it's going to drain everybody, including ourselves. I thought it said opponents, but, you know, it's still good. Cruel Signet is Mana Filtration. Soul Ring, Sword of the Animist for getting our lands, and Thorian Dynamo, which can also be taken out for something else. It just depends. We have an Awakening Zone, is just to give us our Eldrazi to kind of filter off to get our other Eldrazi out, or if not, to at least give us blockers for the non-trample or non-flyer dudes. Beastmaster Ascension is to make our stuff stronger, because with Ishin and Wolfgar, we're going to get those counters pretty quickly when this is out. Campaign of Vengeance is to kill our opponents a little faster. Circle of Flame with Ishin is to kind of kill our opponents 1/1s and 2/2s. Cunning Rhetoric is to also like kind of negotiate our opponents not to attack us, because don't attack us, attack the other player. Druid's Repository, when a creature you control attacks, put a charge counter on it, remove a charge counter on it, get mana. So this is kind of another way to cast our Eldrazi more. Eldrazi Conscription is to give our stuff an Annihilator 2 and just make it really big. We have Fable the Mirror Breaker, is to get our goblins that will, you know, hopefully make treasures. And, you know, it kind of does, you know, the land filtration. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. But we can also create another copy of target non-legendary creature and has haste, sack it, and combat. We have a Fervent Charge. When a creature you control attacks, gets +2/+2. That with Ishin and Wolff gear, hopefully you know we're going to give our stuff +6/+6. Ghostly Prison is to protect us. You know, with Ishin, our opponents are going to have to pay 4 mana for every creature to attack us. It's, you know, a lot. Mardu Ascendancy. Whenever a non-token creature you control attacks, put a 1/1 goblin creature onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Oath of Kaya. Essentially, burn something, gain life, whenever, and that will also too with Ishin. When our opponent attacks us, we're going to hit our opponent for 4 and gain 4, so hopefully it keep us back in the game too if they decide to attack us. We have Order of Nylea, and that's just to get lands, plus put counters or something. Rabble Rousing, we want to build an army as fast as possible and hopefully get that hideaway. Restoration of, I cannot pronounce that. Basically, it's just to get a plains. And I guess we can get a mana rock from our graveyard. But yeah, whenever it attacks or blocks, create a 1/1. We're going to make some 1/1s, though that could easily be taken out for something else too. Virtue of Strength is, it can kind of be graveyard recursion, but it's mostly made for the ability to make our lands tap for 3. And here are our lands. Command Tower. Den the Bugbear is to make goblins. Evolving Wilds is land filtration. Exotic Orchard. 9 forests. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I don't know why I want to keep saying Den. But this one is also to exile something from an opponent's graveyard. Mossfire Valley. 4 mountains. A Myriad Landscape. 5 plains. We have a Restless Cottage. It's just a land that graveyard hate and to make food tokens. Oh, they don't really matter. Shadowblood Ridge. We have a Spire Garden. We have a Sungrass Prairie. We have 4 swamps and Terramorphic Expanse. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much just going to be like all that stuff. So let's go ahead and we'll play test. Alright, cool. So a turn 1 is going to be pretty easy. We're going to do a cottage. And then whatever they do, we're going to go to a turn 2. And we'll do a Sungrass Prairie. And then turn 3, we're going to do, you know what? We'll do a Spire Garden and a Palladiumer. Next turn, we have all this mana, so we're going ahead and do this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. We're just going to do a Windborn Muse. Turn 5, we're going to do an Exotic Orchard. And we're going to play a Sun Titan. And turn 6, we have a Forest. How much land do we have? We have 8 mana. Can't really do anything, but we can attack, and we have a way to defend ourselves. You know what? We'll cast our commander, and we'll go on the attack. So, easy peasy, cover girl. We got this. Let's go ahead and we'll restart it with a new hand. Automatically, I like this hand. So we're going to do a Spire Garden. And we're going to turn 2. We'll go ahead and do a Forest and a Blade of Selves. Next turn, we'll play the Plains and we'll play a Cultivate. We'll view Library. I'll grab us a Swamp. Oh, did it not give it to me? Swamp. I'll grab 2 swamps. Alright, this will go to the grave. So that was turn 3. And, so turn 4. You know what? I'm going to play a mountain. And we're going to do Campaign of Vengeance. So this game was not... This one on turn 4 is not too bad. Whenever a creature you control attacks, the defending player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So we got a way to protect ourselves. Let's go ahead and go to turn 5. Dang. So I guess what we'll do is we'll play Forest and cast our commander. Not bad. Let's go ahead and go to a turn 6. Not too shabby, but not great. So yeah, if you don't get an Easting or something, it's not too bad. But we do have protection, and we had that on turn 4, which is pretty good. We're going off curb. But yeah, you can see that every turn we're at least doing something. If not, we're at least getting lands out. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn. Restless Cottage. Yeah. Let's go ahead and restart. Let's see if we can get another one. Another good hand. A lot of land. I might take lands out of this because I know this might favor it some. Let's go ahead and restart. We'll say that's a mulligan, like a free mulligan. There we go. I like this one. So what we'll do is a Restless Cottage. Go to turn. We'll go Soul Ring, Forest, Fragment will eat to be tapped. So that was turn 2. Turn 3, what we'll do is Shaman, Sungrass. And then turn 4, we're going to go ahead and we'll what do? We can discard up to 2 cards and draw. So we'll discard that into the library with a conscription. Hang on. So we'll draw as it would go. These go in. Shuffle. Then we're going to do Shadowblood Ridge. There. We'll go to attacks. So I'll say these 2 are tapped. We made our first treasure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 mana as a treasure. So on our next turn, we'll draw. We'll play a mountain. We're going to crack that treasure. Or no. Turn over. We'll have this. We can go ahead. We could transform that. But I really don't want to transform it because on this turn. So what we'll do is, I think we played our mountain this turn. So what, we'd have 1 treasure. So 1, 2, 4, 9 mana. We can do a Hand Emrakul. And then we'll go ahead and we can go into attacks. We'd get mana, which didn't do anything. We'll go into the next turn, which is automatically boom. So what we used our treasure. What we could do is that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll go ahead and turn you over. We'll go to attacks. And we'll cast Ghostly Prison on main phase 2. And there you go. Easy way to coach this deck. And like I said, I know that all this gets a little too hectic, which is fine. Because what we could also do too, before we do Ghostly Prison, we could make a copy of Hand of Emrakul, go in for 2 Annihilator 1 triggers. So yeah, and like I said, this is turn 6. This is a turn 6 we're doing this. So this is a functionality how we're doing it, even though I know that Moxfield kind of changes your draw to always get good lands. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope I hope y'all enjoy my Saskia. Just unyielding violence. I'll see y'all again next time, guys. Bye-bye.